In case you didn't notice, I'm traveling right now. I'm not in my usual spot. So I wanted to do a quick video about my remote game dev setup. Now, this is a new thing for me. I'm testing out if I can do game dev remotely or like away from my apartment, because I've been jealous of my tech friends who are working on their apps and all they need is their laptop and they can go wherever they want to. A lot of my friends that work in tech, they just work on an app or they work on a back end or they're founders of startups and all they need to do their job is their laptop. You don't have to take anything else with them, it's just the laptop. And for me, with making games, I've found that to be a little difficult. Maybe you have too when you've tried it. If you tried to go to a cafe or something and work on your game, it's kind of hard. The screen is so small, it's hard to get anything in the game engine on there so you can reasonably see it, in my opinion at least, because I'm used to my big ultra-wide monitor. So this is the setup I'm using. Maybe it's gonna work for you if you decide to try remote game dev. First one, get started with, obviously, is my laptop. I'm using it right now, so I can't really show it to you, but it's an IBM ThinkPad laptop. It's not a gaming laptop. I originally bought it when I was working on apps and working on some of my other stuff, so I didn't need all that compute power to make games. I have found it still works pretty well with Unreal, so I haven't had much of an issue there. With larger projects, like if I open the Trace Hunters project, it struggles a little bit, but with some of the prototyping I do now, it is totally fine. Another handy but obvious thing I found is I take a mouse around. This is so this is my mouse. I just take it from home, take it to cafes with me and that kind of stuff. It really helps, especially working in Engine or working in Blender or doing photo editing, because doing any of that with a trackpad just is insane to me. I cannot figure out how to do it, so I have to have the mouse to do that. If I'm just writing code or writing text, it's no big deal. I can do that, it's totally fine. But for most game dev tasks, I really find that the mouse is necessary. Those are pretty boring things, they're pretty obvious. Computer, mouse, cool, that's what you need. But I also have a travel monitor. So I got this, it's pretty cheap, it was like $50 on Amazon. And you just plug it in, good to go, give you some more screen real estate. If it's a packed coffee shop or something like that you're working at, people get a little testy if you're taking up too much table space, but if you're traveling, maybe you're in a hotel, it can be really nice to have that extra screen space, especially when you're working in Engine or when you're working on Blender or something like that, because you can have your reference images or like blueprint for Unreal Engine on one screen and then the engine on the other so you can see it. The other thing I found is really handy is I take my sketchbook to a lot of different places. I use this both to draw and to take notes, so I found that's really useful for exploring different ideas, for thinking about game concepts, for thinking about how the game's going to look. And it's actually faster for me to draw it in the sketchbook most of the time than to do it in Engine. There is the downside there is that it doesn't actually look like the game in any way, shape, or form most of the time because I'm not that good of an artist, but also nobody can play it. One thing to keep in mind, it's more for note-taking, it's kind of a personal thing. The last one, obviously, since I do these YouTube videos, I have to take some stuff with me. I take my phone, I use my phone to record all the videos. It works just fine, it seems like. I've got some little microphones like the one I'm wearing here. I use the Rode Wireless Go 2 set, and they seem to work pretty well. I've also got some little lights. If I shine that at the camera, it's gonna be really bright. They help to adjust the lighting when you get in places that the lighting's not good. If you're making any kind of video, or you need to talk on camera or something like that, that kind of stuff's really helpful. I've also got a bunch of tripods. You saw one of them connected to my light there. Those help you really adapt to the different environments. We'll see, hopefully I can get some more travel in, get out of my apartment a little bit, and make some videos from other locations. Hopefully this has been useful to you in some way. Maybe you want to go try working remotely and you're looking for a setup as well, and you are like me and you're jealous of your friends that work as software engineers and just can take their laptop everywhere and that's all they need. As always, let me know if you liked the videos down in the comments. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I'll see you next time. Oh, hey, there's one more thing that I forgot to put in the video. It's so important. I'm gonna edit this back in. Headphones. These things will save you. Anytime you're working somewhere else, it's always loud, it's always noisy. Sometimes you need to get in the zone. That's where headphones come in. They're probably the most expensive thing that I use when I'm working remotely outside of my laptop. So I super recommend to splurge on these, get some good noise canceling headphones so you can focus.